right, so you beautiful beings are gonna just get what I am feeling excited to share on. And it's been an interesting energy, and so I'm curious if you want to drop in the comments how you are doing. I would love to hear. I know for me, it's been having these advanced transmissions, but how do I bring and anchor it to the earth to make it understandable? That's why you'll see a lot of my content. I try to mix it up because there's things that we need in our physical human lens to help support, but there's also these very advanced and multi-dimensional aspects and omnipresence, and there's so many lenses and aspects that we can integrate, that we can receive information from. But for this, I thought I was going to share because it ties it all together. I recently finished the movie Assassin's Creed, and if you have not seen it, this movie was so good. And for a long time at the beginning of my spiritual journey, I didn't watch anything. Like, I wouldn't watch the news because symbols that they were imprinting into things, and I would see it, especially when we were on that fun time when they were doing this, and a lot of the symbology, they use magic and dark magic and tactics, and actually infuse symbols. And like I said, you're going to get everything today because the people that are unaware, there's information in here for you. So for a long time I didn't watch anything. The guidance it wasn't just because of that. I was building my own connection. And so the only thing I was watching was what my daughter watched. But over the last probably year, I've started watching things as I've felt called to watch certain things, because there's information, there's overlay. And what I noticed was when I would watch something, I would start to remember. Past life memories. Something would activate. And these activations can come through various things. They can come through people, they can come through whatever. But anyways, so back to Assassin's Creed. This movie was so good, and there was so much that felt connected to my experience, what I've remembered and what I know, and even just the creed that they live by, that we work in the dark to serve the light. Now, how many of us have felt that even on our awakening journey? Like, we are in such a dense, heavy place, and we wake up, and I know in the beginning of my journey, I kept a lot of my knowings, my remembrances. I was in the spiritual quote-unquote closet because nobody could understand what the fuck I was saying, and they definitely couldn't comprehend it. And so I felt like I kept a lot of that information to myself for a long time, or didn't let people really know the fullness of me, right? And that's attached to something too, and I'll get to it, because many of us that are highly advanced, highly spiritual, old souls, you could say, the people that are probably drawn to my work, you've probably been highly advanced beings. I'm going to say that, whether it's in this dimension or higher dimensions, maybe high priests, high priestesses, gods and goddesses in other incarnations, or you hold specific coding. Also, of course, the galactic, you're getting it all today. All of the galactic, if you've seen some of my stuff, the Venetian frequencies, Andromedan, we are so multifaceted on a soul level in our incarnations. And when we start to awaken these aspects, our DNA starts to awaken, and different things come online, new awareness. Okay, so back to Assassin's Creed. So, working in the dark to serve the light. Isn't that a majority of our journey? We have journeyed through our own darkness, right? The dark nights of the soul, the deeper inner work, the connections to lower realms. There's so much, right? Like, there's so many aspects that can even get lost in other dimensions if we haven't began initiating the work. And we get to reclaim that the more that we heal, the more that we allow more light to come into our being, into our body. I'm just going to keep rolling with it. Okay, so in this movie, the guy gets hooked up to this machine that sends him back to actually his ancestry of assassins. It is so much like even what I've seen, and if you've done quantum work, and if you weren't familiar, I am a quantum healer. The different, I'm going to say the different aspects that we can also receive from our bloodlines. I'm also feeling called that in those spaces, like there is different things, curses, black magic, different things that have affected family members or our ancestors, and there's also powerful gifts that our ancestors had. And so this guy hooks up to the machine, and every time he goes back, he starts getting stronger. And it was showing me, like, our own journey, that the more we remember, the stronger we get. The more we remember our abilities, we remember our power, we remember who we've been. And it's all serving and supporting. The more our gifts awaken, the clearer we become. And the other aspect to this that was showing up for me, that stood out, hold on one second. Someone came out to talk to me. I remember now, I came back on track. The other aspects that really stood out to me was when these assassins got burned. And this is one of the many core wounds that many individuals of our kind that have had a strong connection, that were gifted in other realities, that hid a lot of their abilities and their gifts. Many of us have been killed in other lifetimes, burned at the stake for our connection to God, for our connection to spirit, for our abilities, for our medicine, our magic, because society or the other individuals did not understand it. And we can even go deeper to this, but there was a huge part that I wanted to mention around some of the woundings that we can experience. Hiding, the desire to not wanting to be seen because you are safe and protected, or because in another lifetime you've obviously been killed or accused of being something that you weren't. There's also pretty prevalent in the field right now an aspect around the feminine and the witch wound, right? And so many of us, if we were gifted and we were a female in that lifetime, we were persecuted. So persecution is another wound that many individuals on this path that we'll have to address. Persecution, wanting to hide, fear of being seen, black magic, dark magic. I had to journey it all, and it was all training. It was all training for what I'm doing now to help support other individuals. But I thought I would drop that in here, and I don't know how much time I'm going to have, because there's so much and sometimes it's trying to ground it into this, but I realize people do need to know this information, that we have such amazing gifts and advancements, and we've been so many amazing things that are intended to be anchored in this reality, that are hidden under layers of wounding, hiding, afraid of being seen. And that's really how I support people, is because those gifts, those abilities that are already innate to them, are meant to be activated and awakened and brought online, because it does have a large part of their purpose here once we clear all the stuff that is needed. And it's gonna cut me off, so I'm just gonna leave it there. But yeah, I felt like I wanted to speak to that.